Hi. If you're wondering how you can effectively build your business, today we have a new puzzle for you. We will talk with Wojciech Szumowski, product owner of AI recommendations and AI search, about the search itself. So, Wojciech, why are we here? Is AI search some trending topic or a real must-have on the website?
Hi, my name is Wojciech Szumowski. I am a product owner in Synerise. I am working for a bit over 4 years. Thank you for the question. A very good question. So yes, the search is a trending topic. I think it's extremely important that each customer-facing part of your business should have a way to allow the customers to search for items in an effective way, right? So we can divide clients into two groups. Some come to your website, let's say you're selling some shoes, for example. Some customers come to your website and they know what they want, right? And some come and they know they want shoes in general, but they will be searching for some specific ones, right? So yes, I think the search is an extremely important part of any business, especially e-commerce.
But if let's say I have an e-commerce and I have some default search, it works like, let's say, default search, no fireworks. What Synerise can do better?
First of all, it is important to note that the search by itself is a very good search. Don't get me wrong. It's our engine is extremely capable of fast and relevant responses to any query. But the beautiful part in the AI search engine, the Synerise AI search engine, is that it is a part of the Synerise ecosystem, right? So you have many areas in Synerise where each module implemented by itself, like if this were 10 different companies, this would take a lot of integration, and we know how extremely painful integration is, right? So now having the search engine in this ecosystem allows us to use certain other parts of Synerise to enhance the way the engine works. So that's the main reason why I would choose the Synerise AI search engine.
So first we had this first phase of the integration, so we collect the events already, we can enhance this search. But what else? We can use some other components like campaigns later to...
Yes, of course. You can use campaigns to create, for example, abandoned search. So when a customer is searching for some phrases and then we detect that no further action, no transactions were made with the items that the customer was searching for, we can create a campaign to remind the customer about what he was searching and check if he's still interested. Another major part of the search engine is the fact that we have personalization, right? So we can include our AI models from that the customers know from the recommendation part. We have a state-of-the-art AI models, right? And so we can use them in our search engine to boost items that are not only relevant to the query that the customer provides when searching for an item, but also then we can manipulate a bit the order in which the items are returned so that they fit the customer's needs better than only relevant items to the query.
I think I buy it.
Yeah,
There is a lot of things that enhance this search. So it's not just searching for a query. but what I have to do to make it work.
Okay, so the first thing and like the basic thing that we need to do is as we are searching for items, whether these are, some fashion items or some, food products, or maybe these are blog posts, you can search, you can use our search engine to search for any type of items. The first thing that we need to know basically is we have to have information about the products, right? If we are searching then somewhere in a catalog or feed, we have to have information, and how it works, we have them in attributes. So attribute values are basically information about the items.
The more attributes, the better.
It depends. I mean, in general, yes, but I think we will talk about this in a moment. A general rule of thumb is yes, the more attributes the better, because we have more information about the products, right? So we'll get into this in a moment. So that would be the basic stuff, right? A catalog or a feed that contains information about your items. We have to have some information to search on. Then we need events. Events are Synerise's way of quantifying user behavior, right? So, for example, if someone visits a web page or a product page, we have page visits, right? We have transactional data. So this is like a second level of stuff that we need to we have the basic information about the products, and now we can make the search engine work a bit better. We can change the way it behaves a bit using these events. And then the cherry on the top, of course, is the personalization. So to make this work, we need to train the personalized model, like the recommendation model, and then we can use it, as I said, to enhance the way the search engine works. So starting from the basics, we have information about items, then we have information about user interaction with said items, and then training the AI model, the personalization model.
So this is the part of our tool. But what about some business knowledge from the customer side?
Yeah, so I think business knowledge is it's extremely important to have some at least hypothesis on how you would like to set up the search engine. So let me get into how the search engine works on a high level, let's say, no technical details. So when we have the information about the products, so the catalog or feed that I was talking about, we have to build an index. And now an index is a data structure that allows the search engine to use the information, use the attributes. So here is where the business, the first business knowledge comes into use. We will not use all of the attributes to build an index, right? So this is the first place where where you have to decide which attributes I will use to build an index. And the way to think about it is what will my customers use, or what do they usually use when searching for an item, right?
So I know my products better, so I know that I will choose color over some description,
exactly,
for example.
Exactly. So usually, the title, the color, the brand, those are things that we can say most of the businesses will use when creating an index. But then maybe that your customers search for I don't know, maybe some season aspect of the items, and that will be an attribute that you will use to build the index. And so the index is it is built on these attributes that you select, knowing your customers. And it is a data structure that basically allows the search engine to search for items quickly and allows them to be relevant to the user's query. These are I think the two most important things about a search engine in general is the speed. It has to be fast, right? I can't be typing something and then waiting, a minute for some results, and they have to be relevant, to the thing that I am typing in, so the query. Yeah, so that's basically it.
But as I have to know my business, then I have to apply it to this index, and it sounds like there is no universal setup of AI engine.
Yes, exactly. I would agree. There is no, I can't give you a recipe, use the title, use the color, use the brand, and, that will be it, and the search engine will work extremely well. I can give you a way to think about it. So think what your customers will be searching for, right? So what attributes to use. So there is a recipe that you can say is for every business. However, the details will be different, depending, on from company to company, I would say. And then within one company, you can have the search engine used for, as I said, blog posts or items or, whatever. So even then the setting will differ between the indices.
When you mentioned that I can have several searches on my website, how Synerise handle it?
So basically you can, first of all, you can have many catalogs in Synerise, right? Or feeds. So on each of them you can build a search engine, so an index. And then even within one catalog you can build different indices. So why would you use different catalogs? As I said, maybe you have blog posts and items, and we have a customer that when you type in some query, right, on the website, you search not only for an item with that query, but also they give you some blog posts or some, written form of maybe how to use the item,
some
and
inspiration.
so on. Yeah, some inspiration, exactly. So those will be two different catalogs, right? You will have a catalog with the information about the items, and then a catalog with the entries or blog posts or the inspirations, right? And so basically those will be two catalogs within one company, and it's the same search engine, right? But two different indices, and they will obviously be set up a bit different.
And in this one query, we get information from those two indices?
Yes, exactly. The query is, sent to two different indices because these will be two different indices, and then Synerise sends back the information, and it is implemented on the website, so you have everything, in there when you type in one query, right?
We were talking about searching the query, but it's not the only possible way to implement AI search on the website. Can you tell us more?
Yes. So we can divide within the search engine, we can divide the ways to search in let's say textual and non-textual, right? So the query will be obviously used in the textual search implementations. We have autocomplete, which is the search engine optimized for fast results. Autocomplete would be used to search for items with every keystroke, right? So customer starts typing and we already provide him with some items and results to that partial query. Then we have the full text search. So usually it's implemented when the customer hits enter.
And we have a list of
and then we have a list of results for the given query. Now the second part would be non-textual searches. So we have the listing, which is a very interesting way, and neat implementation is the listing, a personalized listing, right? So there is no query when you request a listing. It's just a list of products, and this is an important place to use filtering. So you can create like a category page or, a brand page, requesting our search engine without a query, but with a filter, to the given brand or category. And then on top of that, you can have personalization on that index, and you have already, a whole page, whole category or brand page.
So there's such possible use case that I have my category page, like high heels.
Yes.
Customer visits this website, and there can be some, don't know, button or something like this that personalize this content, and then our listing can be applied there.
Yes, of course. This, there are many ways to implement the search engine. The search engine is a tool, right? Synerise provides results to the query or results to requests with no query, like listing, and I will say in a moment also about visual search. So yeah, this is one way to implement the personalized listing. So as you said, you can have a list of items, you can have a button, and then click it for a personalized new page, which would be a very interesting implementation in my opinion. And we could that could be a way to test maybe even if personalization works better or not. So let me just wrap up. We have the visual search, and visual search, I think everybody knows what it is, right? We are searching with images. So there is again no query. However, we ask for similar items to some image, and now this image could be somewhere from the internet, or it could be taken a photo by your mobile phone. It's a very easy way to search, and faster than typing even, I would say.
But it has to be product image, or it can be a whole person, and you can match somehow what you are looking for on this image.
Yeah, it can be, as you said, it can be a whole person. We have a client that when you upload the image of a whole person, it finds each element of his outfit, right, and then shows you similar items on their website, so you can easily create a whole outfit for a person from a photo, which is it's really nice, right? Some person has a photo of some maybe celebrity, and he really likes the outfit, and so he just takes the picture, puts it in there, and then he has a ready full outfit for to buy.
I will come back to the moment that we were talking that there's no universal search, because it pop up in my head that maybe some A/B tests will be a good solution to verify it.
That's a great point. A/B tests are an extremely effective way to enhance the way the search engine works with some settings, right? I think it's still underestimated, how powerful the A/B testing feature is, and so
But maybe it's not so underestimated, but it's really time-consuming, because someone has to prepare this A/B test, divide the traffic, prepare those indices, later set up KPIs, prepare different events to track which group performs better. So it can be I don't know, a little bit hard to implement.
Do. Yes, in general, yes. However, Synerise, the AI search engine, has a native functionality of A/B testing, and we basically make it a lot easier to create an A/B test, and so yeah, you can duplicate an index by just clicking a button, right? Then you can set up an A/B test with the index that you duplicated and changed, and the baseline one. We divide the customers between those indices, like on Synerise side, so there is no need to implement a new request to this new duplicated search index. so that is taken care of. And then we have predefined, statistics that and analytics that allow you to basically monitor some KPIs. And and of course, when you finish this test, there's basically 2 clicks to move if one of the indices that you were testing had better results in the KPI that you were measuring, you can transfer that setting to the main index and basically
show it to the whole group.
Yeah, exactly. So you put 100% of customers back to that index, and there was no implementation, no coding, no changing, on your website. So yeah.
Not so hard as it sounds at the beginning.
Exactly. And I would really recommend to test, small changes all the time. We all know that tech giants do A/B testing all the time, on their platforms. So if I were to give advice, I would say, when conducting an A/B test, change like one thing, right? One thing in the setup, and then measure it for some time. Because when you change a lot lot of things, so you
don't know what actually worked.
You have no idea which of the aspects that you changed basically influenced better or worse results within that index.
I have a very good example here. So one of our customer wanted to verify if personalization in search works. So he has had one search with personalization and second one without. The group was divided for a half. And after 2 or 3 weeks of tests, this search with personalization had better KPIs, better conversion, more interaction, and generally it brought more money. And then customer clearly know that the personalization make the difference because only this factor was changed.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good example, and I think we knew that the search with the personalization would work better, but it's good that that customer confirmed it with an A/B test, and that they only changed one factor. That's the way to go when doing an A/B test. So yeah, that's we have a built-in function for A/B testing, and I would like to encourage everyone, to A/B test their search. Like, treat the setting, your present setting of the search engine as a hypothesis, right? This is a good setup, and then use 10%, 5% of your customers to test. Like, you can each week, or each month, you can test a new thing, a slight change. It's hard to come up with what will work, right? It's better to test some things, see what works with my customers, right? And then go in that direction with small steps. And I think that's the best way to optimize the setting of the index of the search engine.
And do not guess that it will work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's know about it.
Yeah. Sometimes I think for sure the customers will use this attribute to search, and then nobody uses it. So basically, don't assume, test. Why not do it if you have it there and it's easy, as we said. So yeah.
We talked about this personalization at the beginning, that it influenced the search results based on customer history. How else we can influence on the search results? So basically, there are two ways that I would like to speak about right now. The first one are rules. So rules are a no-code way to influence how the search engine works. Basically, how rules work are they have some condition, right? So some you specify if the query from the customer is some phrase, then the condition will be satisfied and the rule will work.
I will talk more about this in a moment. So we have the condition, and then we have the consequence for the rule. So yeah, it's like it works in a if-then manner, right? So we have some triggers that will apply the consequences of our rule. So the conditions can be to a phrase that is exactly or contains something. So we operate on the query that the customer provides. We can also get our rule triggered by some filters that the customer uses in our search request. Then we have context, so some context of the search request will trigger a rule, and then we can also use a rule so for all queries you can set up a rule that will affect all queries. So there the condition is that basically there was a request to the search engine. And then we have consequences. There are many that you can use, such as promoting some items, which is it's an interesting case for maybe monetizing your search engine on your website, because you can have some deals with some brands, and then for given phrases that contain or are some phrase, promote some item to a higher position in the search results. And the very important one is filtering. So you can, based on whatever condition that we talked about, you can filter the query results using the information that we have about the items, so the attributes that we were talking about in the catalogs or the feed.
Can you give us some examples of this rule so it will be easier for anyone to understand it?
Yes, for sure. So for the example, I will also introduce the notion of a placeholder in our query rules. A placeholder is a way to use an attribute but not specify a value. So because you can, as the condition, you can use if the phrase is, for example, some brand, XYZ brand, right? Then do something like filter to that brand, which is this is a good example of a rule. However, a placeholder is specifying that if so let's use the brand example. If any brand appears in the search in the query, so you use this placeholder brand, you don't specify the value, you just you say if any brand appears in the search request, then you can use that brand that the customer provided without specifying it, to filter to only items from that brand, right? So this is
so engine identify that this is a
yes,
brand.
exactly. So it identifies that this query contains some brand, and then we can use that brand in the consequence. So you don't have to set up 15 rules for 15 different brands. You have one that contains all the filtering that you want, right? And how to also influence the search engine. The second way are synonyms, and this is a way to enrich our catalog or feed, without changing it in the catalog or in the feed, which sometimes is a very problematic thing to do. Add some words to the catalog. It can be time consuming and so on. So you have synonyms where you can specify that for some given word, let's say, I don't know, iPhone, then a synonym will be cell phone. And now, if you didn't have cell phone in your catalog, you only had iPhone, you add the cell phone to the index, and now when the customer is searching for cell phone, he will find, for example, iPhone, right?
So here also this business knowledge applies.
Yes, exactly. This is perfect. Circle back to the business knowledge in setting up the search engine.
And also the no results in our statistics can be helpful to find such need of synonyms.
Yes, exactly. It's a very effective way to spot some lacking in our catalog. So basically, the no results that you were talking about, it's a predefined, let's call it analytic, which identifies phrases that our search engine had no results for, hence the name. And you can identify, my customers search for this, and the search engine has no results for this given phrase, so probably I don't have information about this in my catalog, so I'll add a synonym using this word to something that I do have in my catalog, and case solved. It works, and now we have results.
What is the feature that you like the most, or you would like our customer to use more often?
So there is this setting it's hidden in the advanced setting, in the index setup.
Advanced is your liked one.
Yeah, I like the advanced one because it provides more flexibility, and I think advanced, it's I'll tell you what it is, and you can judge if it's advanced or not. So there is a way, or let me start like this. By default, our search engine will match the items in our catalog, right, to the query based on if even one word from the query matches with some item, then we will return this as a search result. And so if our query has more, the query phrase has more than one word, for example like 2, then even if it matches with only one, then the item will be returned. And this again, business knowledge, business application. Some clients want it this way, so of course it will be sorted by relevance. So let's say, for example, you're searching for yellow shoes, right? Then you will return yellow shoes first. Then you will have some yellow items and some shoes that are not yellow. And some of our clients want it that way, so that if they don't have yellow shoes, then to still shows something, right? And but the setting that I'm talking about, you can basically specify that you need to use all the words. So an item has to match all the words from the query phrase to be returned, and this is also something that other customers want. They don't want to return items that only partially match with our query. So and then you can specify between only one and all words. You can specify maybe at least 2 have to match, right? Or only one cannot match. So you can operate on the query, and basically this is a good way to again apply your business knowledge and influence the search engine.
And it shows really how flexible this tool is, because it can apply to several needs.
Exactly.
And give you the results you wish.
Yes, it's very flexible, and I would like to put emphasis on the fact that everything that we talked about, setting up the index, there is no coding. The rules, no coding. This advanced setting up, no coding. You just click in the platform and it works. So you just have to have an idea, and then basically we provide you with the tool.
I think that this is perfect ending for our today's talk. Thank you, Wojtek, for our meeting.
Thank you very much.
Very, very valuable, very fruitful. Thank you everyone for listening to us today. I believe that the most important from our talk is to remember, test, not guess. See you soon.